Welcome back again to Shadow Park Channel, the home of stories. If you're new here, subscribe, like, comment, and share to your friends and family. Let's get into today's story, titled, Craved by the Alpha Prince. Part 1, The New Beginning. Emma Gray was not rich. She was not powerful. She was only a girl with an old suitcase, one scholarship, and a heart that carried more scars than secrets. When she stepped onto the stone path of Crescent Hill University, she felt as if she had walked into another world. The buildings were tall and old, covered with vines. The bells of the main tower rang out like voices from the past. Students hurried around her, their clothes neat, their smiles bright, their voices loud with confidence. Emma kept her eyes low. She had grown up in foster homes, always moving, never wanted for long. This place felt too grand for her, too clean. She felt like dust on polished glass. But she was here, and she had promised herself she would fight for this chance. Her roommate, Lily, was nothing like her. Lily had dyed pink hair that curled at the ends, rings on almost every finger, and a laugh that could fill the whole room. She jumped on her bed the first night, pointed at Emma and said, "You look like a lost kitten. Don't worry. I'll keep you alive here." Emma smiled weakly. "Thanks." She liked Lily. She was wild, crazy, and a little too bold, but she was kind. And for Emma, kindness was enough. The first week passed quietly. Classes were hard, but Emma worked harder. She studied late, her eyes sore from books, her body tired from cheap coffee. But then she saw him. It was a Friday night, the campus buzzing with laughter and music. Emma and Lily had gone out to watch the students gather around the fountain. That was when he stepped into the crowd. Adrian. Tall. Broad shoulders. Black hair that glowed blue under the lights. Eyes that looked almost golden in the dark. His jaw was sharp, his walk proud. He looked like he did not belong in the crowd, but above it, like a king moving among commoners. And everyone noticed him. Girls whispered. Boys nodded with respect. But Adrian did not look at anyone. Not until his eyes found hers. It was only a second. A single second. But when his gaze touched Emma, she felt her chest burn. It was not normal. Not like when you meet someone handsome, and your stomach flips. This was different. His stare felt heavy, almost dangerous, like his eyes could see straight through her soul. Her heart raced. She looked away quickly. Lily nudged her. "Oh my God. Did the Dark Prince just look at you?" Emma frowned. "The what?" Lily smirked. "You don't know? That's Adrian Blackwell. The rich one. His family owns half the city. Some say he's descended from royalty. He doesn't hang out with anyone, barely speaks. Total cold-blooded prince." Emma's chest tightened. "He looked at me by mistake." "MHM," Lily teased. "Or maybe he already likes you." Emma shook her head. She didn't believe it. Men like Adrian didn't notice girls like her. But deep inside, her body still remembered that stare. The next time she saw him was in the library. Emma had been sitting at the far corner, books spread out, when a shadow fell across her table. She looked up and there he was, Adrian. Her throat went dry. "Seat taken?" His voice was deep, smooth, almost cold. She shook her head quickly. "No." He sat down across from her, not waiting for more. His scent drifted across the table, warm, musky, sharp like pine and smoke. It made her body shiver. He opened a book, but after a while his golden eyes slid up and locked on her again. Emma's hand froze on her pen. "What?" she whispered. "You're new," he said simply. "Yes," she breathed. "First year." He studied her like she was more than a girl. Like she was a puzzle. Emma dropped her eyes, her face hot. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Adrian leaned closer, his voice low. "Because you're not like the others." Her heart pounded so loud she was sure he could hear it. From that day, she saw him everywhere. In the halls. By the fountain. At the coffee shop. He never smiled, never laughed. But whenever their eyes met, something heavy pulled at her chest. Lily noticed too. "Girl," she whispered one night, waving her spoon of ice cream. "He's obsessed with you." Emma shook her head. "No. He's just strange." "Strange and rich," Lily grinned. "Don't waste it." Emma rolled her eyes. But in her heart, she was scared. because she did feel something. Something hot, strong, and too dangerous. The danger became clear one night. Emma had been walking back to her dorm alone when she felt it, a presence. The air grew heavy, her skin prickled. She turned, but the path behind her was empty. Then a figure stepped from the shadows. Tall. Broad. Not Adrian. The man's eyes gleamed yellow in the dark. His smile was sharp, too sharp. Pretty little human, he hissed. Emma froze. What do you mean? The man stepped closer, his body moving too fast, too smooth. Not human. Not normal. Her chest filled with terror. She stumbled back. Then Adrian appeared. He moved like lightning, his hand grabbing the stranger's throat, slamming him against the wall. A growl ripped from his chest, deep and animal. Leave her, Adrian snarled. The man hissed, eyes flashing gold. Then he melted into the shadows, gone. Emma stood shaking, her breath broken. What was that? Adrian turned to her, his chest rising and falling. His eyes glowed, not golden this time, but wolf-like. She gasped. He stepped closer, his voice low and sharp. You shouldn't have seen that. Her knees trembled. You're not human. Adrian's jaw clenched. He was silent for a long time, then finally whispered, No, I'm not. That night changed everything. Adrian began to watch her more closely. He walked her to class. He lingered in the shadows. He warned her not to trust strangers on campus. Emma wanted answers. Why me? She asked one evening, her voice breaking. Why are you always near me? His golden eyes softened. Because you're mine. Her breath caught. Yours. Adrian's lips curved into a faint smile. You don't understand yet. But you will. Lily noticed Emma's glow. You're in love, Lily teased, kicking her feet on the bed. Admit it. Emma shook her head. It's not love. It's complicated. Complicated and hot, Lily grinned. That's the best kind. Emma laughed softly, but her chest ached. Because she was falling. Falling hard for a man who wasn't even fully human. The storm broke a week later. Emma had stayed late at the library. When she walked out, the sky was dark, the wind sharp. She didn't see the figure until it was too late. Lucian. He looked like Adrian, but darker. His eyes burned red, his smirk cruel. You're the human, he said, circling her. The one my dear brother has chosen. Emma's body shook. Who are you? Lucian Blackwell, he said smoothly. Adrian's cousin. And unlike him, I don't hide what I am. He stepped closer, his breath hot against her ear. You smell sweet. Too sweet for a prince to keep. Emma's heart pounded. Stay away from me. Lucian laughed softly. Oh, I will. For now. But soon, little human, you'll beg for me instead of him. He vanished into the night, leaving Emma trembling. When Adrian found her, she was still shaking. He pulled her into his arms, his voice rough. What did he say to you? Emma clung to him, tears spilling. He said he'll come back. Adrian's jaw tightened, his eyes glowing gold. Then he'll die. His arms around her were strong, warm, safe. But Emma knew the truth now. This was not just a college. Not just a love story. It was a war. And she was caught in the middle. Part 2: Secrets of the Alpha Prince. The next morning, Emma woke up with a heavy heart. She could not stop thinking about what had happened last night. The way Adrian's eyes had glowed like a wolf. The way Lucian had smirked at her, calling her sweet like prey. The way her whole life had suddenly shifted into something she did not understand. She sat on her bed, her hands pressed against her face. What have I gotten myself into? She whispered. Lily stirred from her bed and yawned. What's wrong, kitten? Emma forced a small smile. Nothing. Just bad dreams. But they weren't dreams. And every part of her body knew it. Classes felt longer that day. Emma couldn't focus. Every shadow in the hallway made her jump. Every whisper felt like it was about her. And then of course she saw him again. Adrian. He was leaning against a wall outside her literature class. His tall frame drew stares from everyone who passed, but his golden eyes were locked only on her. Emma froze. Come, he said softly, tilting his head. We need to talk. Her heart hammered. She wanted to say no. She wanted to run. But her feet followed him. They ended up at the edge of campus, where the trees grew thick and the air felt different. It was quiet, too quiet, like the world was holding its breath. Adrian stopped, turned to her, and for the first time his face wasn't cold. It was soft. "You saw too much last night," he said. Emma's voice was small. "I saw enough. You're not normal." "No," Adrian admitted. His jaw tightened. "I'm not." He stepped closer, his eyes glowing faintly in the shade. "I'm not just human, Emma. I'm something else." Her breath caught. "A wolf." He gave a small, sharp nod. "An alpha. Born of royal blood. My family rules a kingdom far from here, hidden from humans. I came here to escape responsibilities." Emma's head spun. "You're saying you're a prince? A wolf prince?" Adrian's lips curved faintly. "Exactly." Emma shook her head. "That's insane." "Is it?" He leaned close, his voice low. "You felt it, didn't you? That pull between us. That heat when I look at you. It's not chance, Emma. It's fate." Her heart raced. She swallowed hard. "Why me?" Adrian's eyes softened, glowing brighter. "Because you're mine." Emma stumbled back. "No. Don't say that. You don't even know me." "I know enough," Adrian said calmly. "I know your scent. I know your heartbeat. I know the way your soul calls to mine." Her chest burned. She didn't want to believe him, but she remembered that night. The way his presence had calmed her, the way his touch had felt like fire and safety at once. "Stop," she whispered. I can't do this." Adrian's jaw tightened. He reached out, but then dropped his hand. "I won't force you. But you need to understand, Emma. You're in danger now." "Because of you," she snapped, her fear boiling over. "Yes," he admitted, his golden eyes sharp. "Because of me." That night, Emma lay awake in her dorm. Lily was already snoring softly, but Emma couldn't close her eyes. Her mind replayed Adrian's words. "You're mine. You're in danger. I'm a prince." She pressed her pillow to her face and groaned. Why her? Out of all the girls at Crescent Hill, why did he look at her like that? She was nothing. She had nothing. She was just Emma Gray, the orphan who barely got into college. And yet a part of her chest ached with something dangerous. Something like want. The danger showed itself again sooner than she expected. It was late evening. Emma was walking back from the library when she heard footsteps behind her. Her heart jumped. She turned quickly, but it wasn't Adrian this time. It was Lucian. He leaned against a tree, his red eyes glowing faintly, his smirk sharp. "Hello again, sweet human," he drawled. Emma froze. Her throat went dry. "What do you want?" Lucian chuckled, stepping closer. "What do I want? Many things. But right now, I want to see what makes you so special." She stepped back quickly. "Stay away from me." His smirk widened. "Ah, the brave little kitten. You know Adrian can't protect you forever, don't you?" Emma's hands shook. "Why are you doing this?" Lucian tilted his head. "Because my dear cousin thinks he's a king. He thinks he deserves everything, power, loyalty, even love." His eyes darkened. "But I take what I want." Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. Before he could touch her, a growl split the night. "Adrian." He moved fast, stepping between them, his body tense, his eyes glowing gold. "Lucian. Leave her." Lucian smirked. "So protective." "She's mine," Adrian snapped, his voice shaking the air. Emma's breath caught at those words. Lucian chuckled, backing away slowly. "We'll see, cousin. We'll see who she belongs to when the time comes." He vanished into the shadows. Emma's knees gave out, and she sank to the ground. Adrian caught her, pulling her against his chest. His arms were warm, strong, steady. "You're safe," he whispered. Emma trembled. "No, I'm not. He'll come back." Adrian's jaw clenched. "Then I'll kill him." She looked up into his golden eyes, and for the first time, she saw the beast inside him. Not just a man, not just a prince, an alpha wolf ready to fight for her. Her heart twisted. She should have been afraid. She should have run. But instead she whispered, "Why me, Adrian?" His hand cupped her cheek, his thumb brushing her skin gently. "Because you're the only thing I want. The only thing I can't let go." And in that moment, Emma knew the truth. Her life was no longer hers. It belonged to the Alpha Prince. The days after were different. Adrian was always near, always watching. In class, his golden eyes would catch hers. At night, she would feel him walking close behind, his presence strong like a shield. Lily noticed too. "Okay," she said one morning, leaning against the mirror. "Spill it. You're glowing. Is it because of him?" Emma flushed. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, please." Lily grinned. "I see the way he looks at you. Like you're the only person in the whole school. It's hot but also creepy." Emma laughed nervously. "It's complicated." "Good," Lily said, tossing her hair. "Complicated is my favorite." Emma smiled, but her chest ached. Because it was more than complicated. It was dangerous. The danger grew again when whispers started spreading across campus. "Did you hear? They say Adrian Blackwell is hiding something. Something dark." Emma heard it all in the cafeteria. Students spoke of strange sightings. Eyes glowing in the night. Shadows moving too fast. Growls that didn't sound human. She swallowed hard. She knew the truth. But nobody else did. That night, Adrian found her by the fountain. "You're scared," he said quietly. Emma crossed her arms. "Of course I'm scared. People are starting to notice. What happens when they find out what you are?" His jaw tightened. "They won't. I'll keep it hidden." "And me," she whispered. "What happens to me?" His golden eyes softened. He stepped closer, close enough that she felt the heat of his body. "You're mine, Emma. I'll protect you with everything I am." Her heart raced. She wanted to pull away, but she didn't. Instead, she whispered, "Why does it feel like I'm already yours?" His lips curved faintly, and for the first time, Adrian leaned down, his lips brushing close to hers. But before they could touch, a howl ripped through the night. Adrian's body stiffened. His eyes glowed gold. "Lucian," he growled. Emma's chest tightened. She knew then. The battle for her heart had only just begun. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Part 3, The Rivalry of Blood. The howl that split the night stayed in Emma's chest long after it faded. It wasn't a normal sound. It was wild, sharp, filled with something that made her skin crawl. Adrian's hand tightened around hers. His golden eyes burned as he looked into the dark trees. "Stay behind me," he said firmly. Emma's legs shook. "It's him, isn't it?" Adrian's jaw clenched. "Lucian." The name alone was enough to chill her blood. From the shadows, a figure appeared. Tall, broad, dark. Lucian. His red eyes gleamed, and his smirk was sharp as a knife. "Well, cousin," Lucian drawled, his voice smooth but filled with venom. "I see you're still playing guard dog." Adrian stepped forward, his voice low and dangerous. "Leave her, Lucian. She's not yours." Lucian laughed softly. "Not mine? Don't you mean not yours either? She's human, Adrian. Fragile. Weak. Do you really think she can survive in our world?" Emma's heart pounded. She wanted to run, but her feet stayed frozen. Adrian growled, his voice rough. "She's stronger than you think." Lucian's eyes slid to Emma, slow and mocking. "Maybe. But I'd like to test that." Emma's stomach turned. She took a step back, but Adrian blocked Lucian's view of her. "You won't touch her," Adrian snarled. Lucian smirked wider. "We'll see. The full moon is coming, cousin. And when it rises, blood will decide who is worthy. You know the rules." Adrian's hands curled into fists. "Not here. Not now." But Lucian leaned closer, his voice dripping with poison. "Then protect her all you want. It won't matter. The moon doesn't lie. And when it shines, she'll see who the true alpha is." He vanished into the trees, his laugh echoing. Emma trembled. Her voice broke. What did he mean? What full moon? What rules? Adrian turned to her, his eyes still glowing faintly. He looked pained, torn between truth and silence. Finally, he said, "Our kind has laws. On the full moon, challenges can be made. Lucian wants to fight me. If he wins." Emma's breath caught. "If he wins." Adrian's jaw tightened. "He takes everything. My title. My power. Even you." Her heart dropped. "No." Adrian stepped closer, his hand brushing her cheek, his touch warm and steady. I won't let him, Emma. I'd rather die first. Her chest ached at his words. She wanted to scream, to run, to escape this world she was suddenly trapped in. But when she looked into his golden eyes, something deep inside whispered she couldn't walk away. The days leading to the full moon were heavy. Adrian stayed close to Emma, never letting her out of his sight. Students whispered about him even more now. His presence was too strong, his stare too sharp. Rumors spread, about his family, his money, his secrets. Lily teased Emma at first, but even she began to notice the weight in the air. Your prince looks like he's ready to kill someone, Lily whispered one afternoon. And not in a romantic way. Emma forced a small smile. It's complicated. Lily raised her brows. Honey, complicated doesn't cover it. You're in some deep stuff. Emma sighed. She wanted to tell Lily everything, but how could she? Lily wouldn't believe it. Wolves. Princes. Blood duels. It sounded insane. And yet, it was her life now. One evening, Adrian brought her to the old courtyard on the edge of campus. The moonlight touched his face, making his features look carved from stone. You should know the truth, he said quietly. Emma's chest tightened. All of it. He nodded. All of it. And then he told her. About the Blackwell bloodline. About the hidden kingdom of wolves, ruled in shadows far from human eyes. About how he had come here, to escape the chains of duty, only to find her. The moment I saw you, Adrian whispered, his golden eyes locking onto hers, I knew. You were the one. Emma's breath caught. The one. My mate, he said simply. The bond is ancient. It ties us deeper than blood, deeper than life itself. Her heart pounded. But I'm human. How can that be possible? His lips curved faintly. The bond doesn't care what you are. It only knows what belongs. She shivered. Part of her wanted to reject it, to push him away. But another part, deeper, darker, wanted to believe it. Before she could answer, a sound came from the shadows. Clapping. Lucian stepped out, slow and mocking. What a beautiful speech, cousin, he said with a smirk. But you forgot to mention what happens if the bond breaks. What happens when she realizes she was never meant for you? Emma froze. What do you mean? Lucian's eyes gleamed red. The bond can be broken. If she chooses me instead. Adrian growled, his body tense. She never will. Lucian chuckled. We'll see, cousin. The moon will decide soon. And when it rises, you'll see what true power looks like. He vanished again, leaving the air thick with fear. That night, Emma lay awake in her bed, staring at the ceiling. Lily slept soundly beside her, but Emma couldn't close her eyes. Her thoughts were tangled. Adrian's words, you're my mate. Lucian's threat. She could choose me instead. She pressed her hand to her chest. Why did her heart beat so wildly whenever Adrian touched her? Why did her body burn when he looked at her? And why, deep down, was she terrified that Lucian's words might be true? The night of the full moon came. The campus felt different. The air was heavy charged. The moon rose big and bright, casting silver light over everything. Adrian met Emma by the fountain. His shirt clung to his broad chest, his golden eyes glowing faintly even in the light. Stay close to me, he said firmly. Emma's voice shook. You're going to fight him, aren't you? Adrian's jaw tightened. If he comes. Yes. Her throat ached. What if he wins? He cupped her cheek gently, his thumb brushing her skin. Then I'll die before I let him touch you. Her eyes filled with tears. She wanted to beg him not to fight, not to risk himself for her. But she saw it in his eyes. There was no choice. He was an alpha. And alphas did not run. The howl came sharp and loud. Lucian stepped into the courtyard, his red eyes blazing, his smirk wide. Well, cousin, shall we give her a show? Adrian's body shifted, his golden eyes burning. This ends tonight. Lucian laughed darkly. Yes, it does. The air shook with tension as the two princes faced each other. Emma stood frozen, her heart racing, her body trembling. She didn't know what would happen, but she knew one thing. When the blood was spilled tonight, nothing in her life would ever be the same again. Part 4. Whispers of Desire. The moonlight was silver and cold. The air was thick, heavy, almost hard to breathe. Emma's heart pounded as she stood frozen near the fountain, her hands shaking. Adrian and Lucian faced each other, two princes of the same blood, two wolves ready to fight until only one stood. Adrian's eyes glowed golden, burning with fire. His chest rose and fell with sharp breaths. Lucian's eyes gleamed red, filled with hunger, rage, and something darker, something Emma could not name. She whispered, "Please don't do this." But neither of them looked at her. They were locked in their own world. A world of claws and teeth, of blood and power. Lucian smirked first. "Come then, cousin. Show me if the great Alpha Prince is worth the stories they tell." Adrian's growl rumbled low in his chest. And then, like shadows breaking free, they moved. Emma gasped. Their bodies blurred fast, too fast for her human eyes. One moment they were men, the next wolves. Golden fur burst across Adrian's body, his form massive, powerful, his eyes glowing like molten fire. Lucian's change was darker. His fur black as midnight, his size almost as big as Adrian's, his red eyes shining with cruel light. They clashed, teeth snapping, claws striking, growls ripping through the night. Emma stumbled back, pressing herself against the stone fountain. Fear squeezed her chest. She couldn't look away. Blood sprayed when claws tore. Fur bristled when teeth sank. The sound of their fight echoed across the courtyard, sharp and brutal. At one point, Lucian slammed Adrian hard into the ground. Emma screamed, her voice breaking. "Adrian!" Adrian's golden eyes flashed toward her for the briefest second. Then he pushed up, his body shaking, and lunged at Lucian again. The battle went on, a storm of fury and pain. The ground was torn, the fountain cracked, stones shattered under their weight. Finally, Adrian managed to pin Lucian down, his golden teeth bared inches from his cousin's throat. Lucian growled, his voice thick even in wolf form. "Do it. Kill me." But Adrian froze. His chest heaved, his golden eyes flicked toward Emma, and his fangs stopped short. Lucian laughed, bitter and sharp. "You can't. That weakness will destroy you." And with a burst of strength, he threw Adrian off and disappeared into the night, his dark form melting into the trees. Silence fell. Emma's breath was ragged. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Adrian shifted back, his body bloody and bruised, his shirt torn. He staggered toward her, his face pale but his eyes still burning. "Emma," he whispered. She rushed forward, catching him before he fell. His body was warm, too warm, his blood staining her hands. "You're hurt," she said, tears filling her eyes. He touched her face with trembling fingers. "Don't cry. I'm still here." Her throat ached. "He'll come back." Adrian's jaw tightened. "Yes. And next time, I'll finish it." They sat in silence for a while, her arms around him, his weight heavy against her. For the first time, Emma realized how fragile he really was beneath all the power, all the fire. He was strong, yes, but he was not unbreakable. And that thought scared her more than anything. The next days blurred together. Adrian healed fast, faster than any human could, but Emma still worried over him. She sat with him in the library, walked with him across campus, even skipped classes just to make sure he was eating. Lily noticed. "You're acting like his wife already," Lily teased one afternoon, but her eyes were sharp. "Is there something you're not telling me?" Emma forced a smile. "He just needs me." Lily narrowed her eyes but didn't push. Still, Emma could feel her friend watching, waiting for cracks in her story. One night, Adrian led Emma to the roof of the old library. The campus spread out below them, quiet and silver under the moon. He pulled her close, his hand warm against her waist. "You're not safe, Emma. As long as Lucian breathes, you're his target." Her chest tightened. "What does he want with me?" Adrian's jaw worked. "Power. The bond makes you mine. But if he can break it, if he can make you his, he gains everything." Her skin went cold. "And what if he succeeds?" Adrian's eyes glowed softly in the dark. "Then I'll kill him." His voice was steady, but his hand trembled slightly against her. Emma leaned into him, her heart racing. She whispered, "What if I choose you? What if I tell him he can never have me?" Adrian looked at her, his eyes burning. "You already have." And then he kissed her. It wasn't soft. It wasn't gentle. It was raw, full of fire, full of need. Emma gasped against his mouth, her body trembling, but she didn't pull away. She clung to him, her fingers gripping his shirt, her lips moving with his. The world fell away. The danger, the fear, the blood, it all disappeared. There was only him. When he finally pulled back, his forehead rested against hers, his breath ragged. "You're mine, Emma. No matter what happens, you're mine." Her chest ached, her voice breaking. "Then don't ever let go." "I won't," he swore. But whispers began to spread. Lucian was still on campus, lurking, watching. Students whispered of strange shadows, glowing eyes in the night. Emma felt it too, the weight of being hunted. Every step she took, every corner she turned, she felt him near. And worse, she felt something inside herself stirring. Every time Adrian touched her, her body burned hotter. Every time his golden eyes locked on hers, she felt her knees weaken. She didn't know if it was love, the mate bond, or something else entirely. But it scared her, because she wasn't sure how long she could resist. One evening, she found herself alone in the music hall. The grand piano sat in silence, dusk glowing in the moonlight. She touched the keys softly, pressing one note. The sound echoed, soft and lonely. "Beautiful," a voice whispered. She froze. Lucian stepped out of the shadows, his red eyes glowing, his smirk sharp. "Get away from me," Emma said, her voice shaking. He tilted his head. "Why? I don't bite. Unless you ask me to." Her stomach turned. "Adrian will kill you." Lucian's smirk widened. "Maybe. Or maybe you'll save me. Maybe, Emma, you'll realize he's not strong enough to protect you. Not like I am." Her chest tightened, fear mixing with something else. Confusion, heat, a strange pull she hated to admit. "Stay away," she whispered, backing up. Lucian's red eyes darkened, his voice dropping low. "The bond is strong, yes. But bonds can break. Remember that." And then he vanished, leaving her trembling in the empty hall. That night, she told Adrian what happened. His face darkened, his golden eyes burning. "He touched you?" Adrian demanded. "No," Emma whispered. "But he was close." Adrian's hands shook as he cupped her face. "I'll kill him. I swear it." Emma grabbed his wrists, tears in her eyes. "Adrian, please. Don't let him control you. That's what he wants." He froze. Then slowly his breath calmed. He pulled her close, burying his face in her hair. "You're right," he whispered. "But I can't lose you, Emma. You're all I have." Her chest ached as she held him. She knew then that no matter what came, no matter how dark things grew, she couldn't leave him, even if it destroyed her. Part 5, Temptation and Treachery. The days after Lucian's shadowy visit felt heavy and long. Emma tried to focus on her classes, on her friends, on being normal. But nothing felt normal anymore. Every corner of the campus felt dark. Every sound in the night made her jump. Adrian never left her side. He walked her to classes, sat with her in the cafeteria, even waited outside the library while she studied. His presence should have made her feel safe, but instead it made her heart ache, because she saw the cracks, the tiredness in his eyes, the weight on his shoulders. He was trying so hard to protect her that he was burning himself down. One evening, she sat in Lily's dorm. Lily painted her nails bright red, talking about a party at the student union. "You need a break, Emma," Lily said, blowing on her nails. "You've been hiding with Prince Perfect for weeks. Come out with me tonight. Dance. Drink. Forget him for a few hours." Emma shook her head. "I can't. It's too dangerous." Lily rolled her eyes. "Dangerous? Girl, you sound like a queen in a haunted castle. This is college. The only danger is failing exams." Emma forced a smile, but deep inside, she wished it were that simple. Later, when Adrian walked her back across the courtyard, she told him about the party. "You shouldn't go," Adrian said, his voice firm. "Crowds make you vulnerable." Her stomach twisted. "So I'm supposed to stay locked up forever?" Adrian's golden eyes softened. "I just don't want him near you." Emma crossed her arms. "And what if I want one night of being normal?" The silence between them was sharp. Finally, Adrian sighed and touched her cheek. "If you go, I'll go with you. Her heart skipped. She almost said no, but the truth was she wanted him there. The party was loud, lights flashing, music shaking the walls. Students danced, laughed, drank too much. Emma felt strange walking in with Adrian, the untouchable prince who turned every head. Girls stared, whispering. Guys scowled. Adrian ignored them all. His hand rested low on her back, steady, warm, claiming. Emma felt heat in her cheeks. They sat for a while, watching the crowd. Lily danced near the stage, waving at Emma to join her. Emma laughed, tugging Adrian's hand. Come on. Just one dance. He hesitated. But when she pulled again, he followed. On the dance floor, music pounded through their bodies. Emma laughed as she moved, her hair wild, her face glowing. Adrian stood stiff at first, awkward, out of place. But then she pressed closer, her body brushing his, her eyes daring him. Something snapped. His hands gripped her waist, pulling her flesh against him. His golden eyes burned under the flashing lights. Their bodies moved together, heat rising, breath mixing. Emma's laughter faded into a soft gasp. She felt dizzy, caught between fear and desire. Adrian bent close, his lips brushing her ear. Emma, you're driving me mad. Her knees weakened. She whispered back, then don't stop. But someone was watching. From the shadows near the back, Lucian's red eyes gleamed. His smile was sharp as a knife. Later, outside, Emma leaned against the cool wall, her heart racing from the dance. Adrian stood close, his chest rising fast, his gaze locked on her lips. He reached out, brushing his thumb across her mouth. I want you, he said, voice low, almost broken. But I'm afraid. Emma swallowed hard. Afraid of what? That once I start, I won't stop. Her breath caught. The world went silent except for her pounding heart. She whispered, then start. Adrian's control shattered. He kissed her hard, fierce, desperate. His hands tangled in her hair, his body pressed against hers. Emma melted into him, her fingers gripping his shirt, her lips moving with his, fire spreading through her veins. For a moment, nothing else mattered, until a voice cut through the night. Well, well, Lucian drawled, stepping into the dim light. Isn't this sweet? Adrian spun, pulling Emma behind him. His golden eyes flared with rage. Get away from her. Lucian smirked. Why? She looks like she was enjoying herself. Emma's face burned. Fear and anger twisted inside her. Leave us alone. Lucian's eyes glowed brighter. Oh, Emma. You don't understand, do you? You're not just some girl. You're the key to everything. Her blood ran cold. What do you mean? Lucian's smirk sharpened. Ask your precious prince. Ask him what he's not telling you. Adrian growled, stepping forward. Enough. But Lucian only laughed, dark and cruel. The truth always finds its way out. And when it does, she'll see you for what you really are. And then he disappeared into the night, leaving silence behind. Emma turned to Adrian, her chest tight. What is he talking about? Adrian's face was pale, his golden eyes shadowed. Nothing. Don't listen to him. She shook her head. Don't lie to me. His hands trembled as he reached for her. Please, Emma. Not tonight. Her heart cracked. She pulled away. You're hiding something from me. Adrian closed his eyes, pain flickering across his face. But he said nothing. And that silence was louder than any truth. Back in her dorm, Emma couldn't sleep. Lily stirred in her bed, half asleep. What's wrong? Lily mumbled. Emma whispered. I think Adrian is keeping secrets from me. Lily sat up, rubbing her eyes. Of course he is. He's a prince. They all do. Emma shook her head. No. This is different. This is dangerous. Lily frowned. Then maybe you need to decide if you're ready for that kind of danger. Emma stared at the ceiling, her chest aching. She wanted Adrian. She needed him. But the shadow of Lucian's words lingered. What was Adrian hiding? And could their bond survive the truth? The next day, Adrian didn't come to class. Or the next. Rumors spread that he was ill, but Emma knew better. He was avoiding her. She wandered the campus alone, her chest hollow. Every corner seemed darker. Every whisper felt sharper. And then she saw him. Lucian. He leaned against a tree smirking. Trouble in paradise? Emma froze. Go away. He pushed off the tree, stepping closer. I could make it easier for you, you know. No lies. No secrets. Just power. Just fire. Her pulse raced. I'll never choose you. Lucian's smile deepened. We'll see. Because the truth always changes everything. And as he walked away, Emma realized she was shaking. Not just from fear, but from the terrifying thought that part of her believed him. Part 6: Broken Trust. Emma felt like the world was breaking apart around her. Adrian was avoiding her. Lucian's words still rang in her head. And every time she closed her eyes, she saw the look on Adrian's face. That pain, that fear, that silence. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to trust him. But how could she, when he refused to tell her the truth? It was late evening when she finally decided she couldn't take it anymore. She walked straight to Adrian's dorm, her heart pounding, her fists clenched. When the door opened, Adrian stood there, shirtless, his chest bandaged from old wounds. His golden eyes widened when he saw her. Emma, he whispered, his voice soft. She stepped inside without waiting for permission. We need to talk. Adrian closed the door behind her, his shoulders heavy. I know. Her throat tightened. Why didn't you tell me? What is Lucian talking about? What are you hiding? Adrian's hands trembled as he dragged them through his hair. He didn't answer at first. He paced the room, breathing hard, as if he was fighting himself. Finally, he stopped and looked at her, his eyes burning gold. Emma, I didn't want you to know. Because once you do, you'll never look at me the same. Her chest ached. Try me. Adrian sat on the edge of the bed, his face in his hands. Lucian and we were never just cousins. We were raised as brothers. He was the king's favorite, not me. I was the shadow, the forgotten one. Emma frowned. But you're the Alpha Prince. He laughed bitterly. Only after I fought for it. Only after I spilled blood to take what was mine. I didn't just inherit the throne, Emma. I stole it. Her eyes widened. You killed for it. Adrian's jaw tightened. I had no choice. It was either him, or me. Her stomach twisted. She wanted to run, but her feet stayed frozen. And Lucian? He wants revenge. He thinks I betrayed him. Maybe I did. But if he wins, he'll kill me. And he'll take you. Emma's hands shook. Her voice broke. Why didn't you tell me before? Adrian's eyes softened. Because I didn't want you to see me as a monster. Her heart cracked. Tears filled her eyes. You should have trusted me. Adrian reached for her, his hand trembling. Emma, please. Everything I've done to protect what's mine. To protect you. She pulled back. Her tears burned hot on her cheeks. You don't get it, Adrian. You don't protect someone by lying to them. For a long time, they sat in silence, the air between them heavy. Finally, Adrian whispered. If you can't forgive me, tell me now. End it before it destroys us both. Emma's chest ached so badly, she thought she would break. She wanted to scream, to hit him, to cry in his arms all at once. But all she could whisper was, I don't know. And then she walked out, leaving him broken behind her. The days that followed were worse than before. Emma avoided Adrian. Adrian avoided her. The bond between them burned hot, painful, but neither of them reached for the other. Lily noticed. You look like death, Lily said one morning as Emma stared at her untouched breakfast. Did you two break up? Emma shook her head weakly. I don't even know if we were ever together. Lily frowned, leaning closer. Emma, I don't know what's going on with you and Mr. Golden Eyes, but if he hurt you. Emma cut her off. It's not like that. He's just not who I thought he was. Lily's expression softened. Nobody is, Em. We're all broken somehow. The question is he broken in a way you can live with? Emma looked down at her hands, silent. That night, she wandered the campus alone, her heart heavy. She ended up near the music hall again, the place where Lucian had cornered her before. This time he was waiting. Lost again. Lucian smirked, stepping out of the shadows. Emma stiffened. Go away. He tilted his head. Did he tell you the truth yet? Did he admit he killed for the throne? Her stomach dropped. So it's true. Lucian's smile widened. Of course it's true. Adrian is no hero, Emma. He's a thief. A traitor. A murderer. Emma's voice shook. And what are you? Better. Lucian stepped closer, his red eyes glowing. No. But at least I don't pretend to be good. At least I don't lie to you. Her chest tightened. You're trying to turn me against him. He leaned down, his lips close to her ear. I don't need to try. He's already done that himself. Her body trembled. She hated him. She hated how close he was, how his words slid into her heart like poison. She shoved him back. Stay away from me. Lucian only laughed as he faded into the shadows again. You'll come to me in the end, Emma. You won't have a choice. Emma ran back to her dorm, her chest aching, her mind a storm. She wanted Adrian. She needed him. But trust had been broken, and she didn't know how to fix it. 2 nights later, the breaking point came. Emma was walking back from the library when she saw Adrian waiting near the fountain. His golden eyes glowed in the moonlight, but his face was weary. Emma, he said softly. Please. Just listen. She froze, her throat tight. What more could you say that you haven't already hidden? He stepped closer, his voice shaking. I'll tell you everything. No more lies. But please don't give up on me. Her chest ached. She wanted to give in. She wanted to run into his arms and forget everything. But before she could answer, the shadows shifted. Lucian stepped out, his red eyes glowing. Well, he said with a smirk. Isn't this touching? Adrian's golden eyes blazed. Lucian. Emma's heart froze. Lucian's smile widened. Don't mind me. I'm only here to watch the little lovers tear each other apart. And in that moment, Emma realized the truth. This wasn't just about her. This was war. And no matter who won, she was caught in the middle. Part 7. A Feast of Shadows. The academy was alive with whispers. Rumors spread like fire. Rumors of a feast to be held in honor of the royal heirs. A gathering of power, of nobility, of wolves and humans alike. But to Emma, it felt like a trap. She sat with Lily in the cafeteria, her food untouched. Students laughed and buzzed around them, all talking about the grand night to come. The music, the lights, the chance to see the Alpha Prince and his cousin in the same hall. Emma's heart was heavy. She had not spoken to Adrian since the night Lucian appeared by the fountain. The memory of golden eyes and red eyes burning against each other stayed fresh in her mind. Are you going? Lily asked, biting into an apple. Emma sighed. I don't know. You should, Lily said. You look like you need something fun. Besides, everyone will be there. Even him. Emma looked down. She didn't need to ask which him Lily meant. The night of the feast came faster than she expected. The hall was glowing with gold light. Chandeliers hanging high. Candles burning low, music filling the air. Long tables were set with silver plates and crystal goblets. Nobles from far away sat among students, dressed in their finest clothes. And at the head of the hall sat Adrian. He wore a dark suit lined with gold, his golden eyes sharp, his face unreadable. His aura filled the room. Power, danger, beauty. On the other side, Lucian sat, dressed in black trimmed with crimson. His red eyes glowed faintly in the candlelight, his smirk cutting sharp through the air. Between them was silence. Heavy, sharp, deadly. Emma stood near the back, her breath short. She wore a simple dress Lily had forced her into, her hair curled at the edges. She felt out of place, like she didn't belong among the glitter and power. And yet, Adrian's eyes found her instantly. His golden gaze softened, just for a second, as if she was the only person in the hall. Her chest tightened. She wanted to look away, but she couldn't. Then Lucian's eyes found her too. Red. Burning. Hungry. Emma's stomach twisted. The feast began. Music swelled. Servants brought platters of meat and wine. Voices rose in laughter, in chatter. But beneath it all was tension, a current that ran too deep. Emma sat quietly, her hands in her lap. She tried not to stare at Adrian. She tried not to feel Lucian's gaze. But she could not escape it. Adrian rose to speak, his voice strong, smooth, carrying across the hall. Tonight, he said, we honor unity. Wolves and humans, side by side. We honor strength. We honor truth. His golden eyes burned, and for a moment, Emma swore he was speaking only to her. Then Lucian rose, his smile sharp. And yet, he said, his voice smooth as silk, truth is a fragile thing. Isn't it, cousin? Gasps spread through the room. Adrian's jaw tightened. The air crackled. Emma's breath caught. Lucian stepped closer to Adrian, his goblet of wine glinting under the lights. A king who builds his throne on secrets. How long can he hold it? Adrian's golden eyes flared. Careful, Lucian. Lucian only smirked. Why? Afraid they'll see who you really are. The room went still. No one moved. No one breathed. Emma's heart raced. She wanted to run to Adrian, to shield him, to stop Lucian's poison. But she stayed frozen. The music started again, soft and shaky. The feast tried to go on. But Emma knew this was only the beginning. Later, when the hall thinned and the music faded, Emma slipped out into the garden to breathe. The moonlight spilled over the stone paths, the roses glowing faintly silver. She pressed a hand to her chest, trying to calm the storm inside her. Beautiful night, isn't it? Her heart jumped. Lucian stood near the fountain, his red eyes glowing in the dark. Emma took a step back. What do you want? He smiled. To talk. To warn you. She narrowed her eyes. You only want to twist me against him. Lucian's smirk widened. I don't have to twist anything. Adrian is doing that himself. Her throat tightened. You're lying. Am I? He said softly, stepping closer. Did he tell you about the blood? About how many he killed for his throne? Did he tell you how he betrayed me? How he'll betray you too? Her heart pounded. She hated the way his words slid into her mind like shadows. I don't trust you, she whispered. Good. Lucian said with a smile. But someday you will. He leaned closer, his breath warm against her ear. Because when Adrian breaks you, I'll be the only one left to pick up the pieces. Emma's chest ached. Her body trembled. She hated him, but she couldn't move. Then a voice cut through the night. Step away from her. Adrian stood at the edge of the garden, his golden eyes blazing, his aura sharp and dangerous. Lucian chuckled softly. Always so protective, cousin. Adrian's growl rumbled low, deep, shaking the ground. I said step away. Lucian smiled one last time, his red eyes glowing in the moonlight. Enjoy her while you can, Adrian. She won't be yours forever. And then he vanished into the shadows. Emma's chest heaved. Her knees trembled. Adrian rushed to her, his hands grabbing her arms, his voice tight. Are you okay? She pulled back, her eyes stinging with tears. You still haven't told me everything. He's using that against us. And it's working. Adrian's golden eyes softened, pained. Emma. She shook her head, stepping away from him. I can't do this if I don't know who you really are. Adrian froze, his face breaking. His voice cracked. If I tell you, you'll never forgive me. Her chest ached. And if you don't, we're already lost. The garden fell silent. The moon glowed pale above them. And Emma knew the truth. Whatever secret Adrian was holding back, it would decide everything. Her heart pounded as she stared at him. The Alpha Prince. The liar. The man she couldn't stop loving. But in the shadows, Lucian was still watching. And the feast was only the beginning. The war had yet to begin. Part 8. Whispers of War. The academy was no longer the same. After the feast, after Lucian's bold words, the air was heavier. Students whispered in corners. Teachers kept strict watch. Even the humans could feel it. An invisible storm pressing down on everyone. And at the center of it all was Emma. She sat on her bed late at night, staring at the ceiling. Lily was asleep beside her, breathing soft and steady, but Emma could not close her eyes. Adrian's face haunted her. His golden eyes, his pained voice, his words. If I tell you, you'll never forgive me. Her heart ached. She wanted to trust him. She wanted to believe in him. But Lucian's whispers had sunk into her chest like thorns. He will betray you. He always betrays. Emma pressed her hands against her eyes. Stop, she whispered to herself. But her heart did not listen. The next day, the academy buzzed with something new. Notices were pinned to the walls. Mandatory combat training for all students. Humans and wolves alike gathered on the training grounds. The open field smelled of grass and sweat, lined with weapons and targets. Teachers barked orders. Emma stood in the crowd nervous. She had never held a blade before. Around her, wolves shifted restlessly, their golden or silver eyes glowing faintly under the sun. Adrian stood at the front, commanding. His suit was gone. Now he wore black training gear that clung to his strong frame. He looked less like a prince, more like a warrior. From this day forward, his voice rang out. No one is safe if they cannot fight. Shadows are moving against us. Lucian is moving against us. Murmurs rippled through the students. Emma's chest tightened. Adrian's golden eyes swept over them and landed on her. His voice softened, almost for her alone. And if we do not fight, we will fall. Training began. Emma struggled. The sword was heavy in her hands, the bowstring cut into her fingers. Sweat ran down her forehead as she swung and missed, over and over. Lily cheered her on. You're doing fine. But Emma knew she wasn't. She dropped the sword again, her arms trembling. You're holding it wrong. Her heart jumped. Adrian stood behind her, his hand reaching out to guide hers. His warmth pressed against her back, his breath brushing her ear. Like this, he murmured. His large hand wrapped over hers, adjusting her grip. Steady. Strong. You're not weak, Emma. Stop telling yourself that. Her heart pounded, heat flooding her cheeks. She hated how close he was, how much she wanted him, even when she was angry at him. She swung again, this time hitting the target. Not perfect, but enough. Adrian's lips curved faintly. Better. She turned her head, glaring at him. This doesn't make up for your lies. His smile faded. His golden eyes darkened. I know. And then he walked away. But training was not the only thing happening. That night, Emma snuck out to clear her head. The moon hung heavy, clouds drifting like ghosts. She wandered through the quiet campus, her footsteps soft against the stone. She heard it before she saw it. Low voices, sharp whispers. She pressed herself against a wall, peering around the corner. Lucian stood there with a group of wolves cloaked in black. His red eyes glowed faintly in the dark. It begins soon, Lucian said, his voice smooth. The feast was just a taste. The humans will run. The wolves will divide. And Adrian will fall. One of the wolves bowed. And the girl? Lucian smirked. She'll break him. She's already breaking him. Emma's chest froze. Her breath caught in her throat. She stumbled back, too loud. A stone clattered under her shoe. Lucian's red eyes snapped toward the sound. Emma ran. Her feet pounded against the path, her breath ragged. She didn't dare look back. She could feel them chasing her, shadows rushing close. Her heart screamed, her body weak. Just when she thought she would fall, arms grabbed her, pulling her into a dark corner. She gasped, ready to scream, until golden eyes met hers. Adrian. He pressed a hand to her mouth, his other arm holding her close. Wolves rushed past, their footsteps heavy. Lucian's voice echoed faintly. Find her. Emma's heart thundered against Adrian's chest. She wanted to cry, to scream, but his presence calmed her, even in the terror. When the shadows faded, Adrian pulled his hand back, his face tight. You shouldn't have been there. Her voice shook. He's planning something. He wants war. Adrian's jaw clenched. I know. She looked at him, tears stinging her eyes. And he's using me against you. His golden eyes softened, breaking. He reached up, cupping her face gently. Emma, nothing he does can make me stop wanting you. Her breath caught. She hated how much she wanted to believe him. But then his voice grew low, raw. But if you stay near me, he will hurt you. He will destroy you. Emma shook her head. I'm not leaving you. Adrian's chest rose and fell, his breath uneven. For a moment, she thought he might kiss her. But instead he stepped back, his golden eyes burning. Then I'll have to tell you the truth. The next day, Adrian called Emma to the old library, where dust and shadows filled the air. The heavy doors shut behind them with a thud. He stood near the window, his back to her, his voice rough. My father was not killed by disease. He was murdered. Emma's breath caught. Adrian turned, his golden eyes sharp with pain. Lucian did it. He poisoned him. He framed me. And I I took the throne with blood still on my hands. Emma's chest tightened. You killed for it. His voice broke. I killed to survive. Tears filled her eyes. She wanted to run, to scream, to hate him. But she couldn't. She saw the boy beneath the crown, the broken man beneath the alpha. Adrian stepped closer, his voice shaking. This is who I am. This is what I tried to hide. Now you know. Emma's tears fell. Her voice trembled. And you think this makes me leave you? He froze. Doesn't it? She shook her head, stepping closer. No. It just makes me hate him more. And before he could speak, she grabbed his shirt, pulling him down, her lips pressing against his. The kiss was fire. Pain and love and hunger all at once. His arms wrapped around her, crushing her close, his mouth claiming hers like he had been starving for it. For a moment, the war, the lies, the shadows, none of it mattered. There was only them. But in the shadows of the library, unseen, red eyes glowed faintly. Lucian had heard everything. And now he knew exactly how to break them. Remember to subscribe, like and share. Part 9, Blood Moon Rising. The moon was not normal that night. It rose over the academy like a bleeding wound, swollen and red. The blood moon. For wolves it was power. For humans it was danger. For Adrian and Lucian, it was war. Emma stood by the window of her dorm, staring at the crimson glow in the sky. Her chest tightened. The story she had heard whispered about the blood moon. How it sharpened claws, burned through bones, made alphas stronger and hungrier. Her body trembled. She thought of Adrian, of his golden eyes. What would he become under this cursed light? And Lucian? How much darker would his shadow grow? Behind her, Lily shifted in bed. Emma, are you still awake? Yes, Emma whispered. You're worried about him. Lily sat up, her hair messy, her eyes heavy with sleep. Emma hugged herself. Something is coming. I can feel it. And she was right. The academy was restless. Wolves prowled the halls, their eyes glowing brighter than usual. Teachers barked orders, but even they looked uneasy. That morning, Adrian summoned the students to the courtyard. His presence was heavier than ever, his aura pulsing like fire. The blood moon rises, he said, his voice cutting through the air. Lucian will strike tonight. Gasps spread through the crowd. Emma's chest froze. Adrian's golden eyes scanned them all, hard and sharp. Humans will take shelter underground. Wolves will guard the walls. No one leaves the academy. But as he spoke, Emma noticed his hands, tight fists at his sides, shaking. He was holding something back. That night it began. The academy shook with the sound of claws and teeth. Shadows slipped over the walls. Lucian's wolves, faster, stronger under the blood moon. Emma huddled underground with the humans, the sound of growls echoing above. Screams. Crashes. The smell of blood. Her heart hammered. She wanted to stay safe, but every part of her screamed to go to Adrian. To fight by his side. Lily grabbed her arm. Don't you dare. You'll get yourself killed. But Emma's heart would not listen. When the guards were distracted, she slipped out. The courtyard was chaos. Wolves tore into each other, fur and blood staining the stone. The moonlight turned everything red, shadows twisting like monsters. At the center stood Adrian and Lucian, golden eyes clashing with red. Adrian growled, his claws sharp, his body shaking under the power of the blood moon. This ends tonight. Lucian smirked, his red eyes glowing brighter. Yes, cousin. With your death. They lunged at each other, claws meeting claws, growls ripping the air. The ground cracked beneath them, the sky itself trembling. Emma's chest heaved. She had never seen such power, such fury. Adrian fought like fire, Lucian like shadows. Every strike shook her bones. She wanted to scream for them to stop. But the war had no mercy. Lucian struck hard, claws slicing Adrian's arm. Blood splattered the stone. Adrian roared, golden light flaring in his eyes, and slammed Lucian back. But Lucian only laughed, blood dripping from his lips. You're weaker than I thought. Emma's breath caught. No, Adrian wasn't weaker. He was holding back. For her. Suddenly, Lucian's eyes snapped to Emma. He grinned. Ah, there she is. Adrian froze. Don't you dare. Lucian's body blurred, shadows rushing toward her. Emma screamed, stumbling back. But claws swiped through the air before they could reach her. Adrian slammed into Lucian, throwing him against the wall. "You won't touch her!" Adrian roared. Emma's chest shook. Tears blurred her vision. She couldn't just stand there. She grabbed a fallen blade, her hands trembling, but her heart steady. The fight raged on. Wolves clashed around her, growls tearing the air. Adrian and Lucian tore into each other, blood splashing against stone, claws cutting deep. Emma's heart screamed as she watched Adrian fall to one knee, Lucian's claws ripping across his chest. "Adrian," she cried. Lucian grinned, his red eyes blazing. "He's mine." Emma's body moved before her mind. She rushed forward, blade in her hands. She swung with all her strength. The steel cut across Lucian's arm. He snarled, turning to her, his red eyes burning with rage. "Stupid girl." Adrian surged up, golden power bursting from him. He slammed into Lucian, knocking him back. "Don't touch her." The blood moon flared above them, burning brighter, redder. Lucian's voice roared through the night. "You can't win, cousin. Not while you're chained to her." Adrian's golden eyes blazed. His chest rose and fell, blood dripping from his wounds. But his voice was steady. "She's not my chain. She's my strength." Emma's heart broke and healed at once. Lucian growled, shadows swirling around him like smoke. "Then I'll take her strength away." He lunged again, his claws raised for Emma's heart. But Adrian was faster. With a roar that shook the heavens, Adrian's body shifted fully. His wolf form burst forth, massive golden, shining like fire. His fangs gleamed, his claws glowed. His aura burned brighter than the blood moon itself. The Alpha Prince. The Golden Wolf. Emma gasped, tears streaming down her face. He was beautiful. Terrible. Perfect. Lucian snarled, shifting too, his wolf form dark and monstrous, eyes glowing red like fire. Wolf against wolf. Light against shadow. The final clash began. They tore into each other, golden light and red fire burning across the courtyard. Stones cracked, walls split, the ground itself shook under their power. Emma watched with her heart in her throat. She screamed Adrian's name, but her voice was lost in the storm. Lucian slammed Adrian down, teeth snapping for his throat. But Adrian rolled, claws ripping across Lucian's side. Blood sprayed, shadows screamed. Adrian lunged, jaws snapping, but Lucian bit deep into his shoulder. Adrian roared in pain. "Fall!" Lucian snarled. "Fall like your father." Adrian's golden eyes flared brighter, burning like the sun. His voice ripped through the night. "I am not my father." With one last surge of strength, he tore free, his claws plunging deep into Lucian's chest. Lucian froze, red eyes wide. The shadows around him cracked, shattered, faded into the night. And then slowly his body crumpled, blood pooling beneath him. The red glow in his eyes flickered, then went out. Silence fell. The wolves around them froze, the fight breaking. The blood moon still burned above, but the war was over. Adrian stood in his golden wolf form, chest heaving, blood dripping from his wounds. His eyes found Emma. Slowly, painfully, his body shifted back. His golden eyes burned as he staggered toward her, broken and bleeding. Emma rushed forward, catching him as he fell to his knees. "Adrian." His hand touched her cheek, blood staining her skin. His voice was hoarse, weak. "It's over." "Emma." Tears streamed down her face. She held him close, her heart breaking. "Don't leave me. Please don't leave me." Adrian's lips curved faintly, a broken smile. "I won't. Not now. Not ever." And then his body went limp in her arms. The courtyard was still. Wolves bowed their heads. Humans stared in silence. Emma clutched him tighter, her tears falling onto his bloodied chest. The blood moon burned above, heavy and red. But for Emma, the night was darker than ever. Because even though Lucian had fallen, she feared she had lost Adrian too. Part 10. The Final Reckoning. The night was colder than usual. The moon hung heavy in the sky, glowing brighter than it ever had before. It was the blood moon, the night that had been whispered about for centuries. The night when everything would be decided, who would rise and who would fall. Emma stood at the edge of the field behind the old ruins. Her heart was racing, her hands shaking. She had never felt so scared in her life. Yet, she also felt stronger than ever. She was no longer the lonely orphan girl everyone thought was weak. She had lived through pain, betrayal, and secrets. She had fought, and now she was ready to face the end. Adrian stood beside her, tall and proud. His golden eyes glowed in the moonlight, sharp and fierce. He was no longer hiding what he was. No longer pretending to be only a college boy. Tonight he was the Alpha Prince, heir of his kind, protector of the pack. And tonight, he would fight not just for his people, but for her. "Stay close to me," Adrian said softly, his voice deep and calm. "No matter what happens, don't leave my side." Emma nodded, but inside, she knew she could not just stand and watch. She had her own part to play in this fight. From the shadows, Marcus appeared. His black coat moved with the wind, and his eyes burned with red fire. He looked like death itself. Behind him, the ground seemed to grow darker, as if the earth itself was afraid of him. "So," Marcus sneered, his voice echoing across the ruins, "the prince and his little human lover think they can stop me?" Adrian's jaw tightened. "This ends tonight, Marcus. No more games. No more running. You will not touch her, and you will not take what doesn't belong to you." Marcus laughed, the sound cruel and sharp. "You're a fool, Adrian. You think love makes you strong? Love is weakness. And tonight, I'll prove it when I kill her in front of you." Emma felt her blood run cold, but she did not step back. She lifted her chin, meeting Marcus's evil gaze. "You won't kill me," she said, her voice firm even though she was trembling. "Because you're afraid. Afraid of what happens if you lose." For a moment, Marcus's smirk faded, replaced by a shadow of anger. Then he howled. The sound tore through the air, shaking the ground. From the darkness, his loyal wolves appeared, eyes glowing red, teeth bared. Adrian growled, his body shifting. Bones cracked, muscles expanded, fur spread across his skin. In seconds he stood in his wolf form, huge, golden, and powerful. His growl shook the night, warning the enemy that the Alpha Prince was ready. The wolves charged. Adrian leaped, slamming